Regular scheduled planning commission meeting on March 25th, 2025. Start out with roll call.
Chairman Dana Hennis. Vice Chairman Brian Clark.
Present.
Commissioner Jeannie Greger. Commissioner Jim Mann.
Present.
Commissioner Bobby Rostillo.
Present.
All right, that'll take us into the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Move us into public hearings. First on the docket is case numbers 22-10ZC and 22-17-S and 22-28-DR. Is that Doug? Or it's Troy? Hi, Troy.
Good evening, Commissioners. For the record, Troy Behunin, Senior Planner, DSD, Development Services Department. The application for this that you brought up for Seasons Creek North, staff is requesting that it be tabled to a date certain of June 10th of this year at the request of the developer. There's a few things that they still need to work out, but they just need a little more time, and the developer has requested that it be tabled, and staff is requesting June 10th. It's up to the commission to decide if that's the night you want to table it to, or if there's another night.
I was planning on washing my hair that night, but otherwise.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I move that we table case numbers 22-10-ZC, 22-17-S, and 22-28-DR to a date certain of June 10th, 2025.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes. Table to June 10th. Next up, we've got case numbers 24-09AN, 2406S, and 24-25DR for Blossom Meadows.
Once again, Troy Behunin, CUNA Development Services Department, Senior Planner. The Blossom Meadows subdivision project, staff is also requesting that this be tabled to a date certain of April 8th. However, it is up to the commission to decide if that is a date that they would like to hear this on. We've advertised it for this evening, but due to some challenges with things that the applicant was tasked with at the very end, it did require that we needed to bump it out just a little bit.
I'll stand for a motion.
Yeah, I motion to table case numbers 24-09AN, 24-06S, and 24-25-DR to a date certain of April 8th, 2025.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed? And that motion passes. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Troy. All right, moving on to item C. Case numbers 25-01-S, 25-01-DR for Trails End Estates. Marina?
Good evening, Commissioners. For the record, Marina Lundy, Planner, CUNA Development Services. The application before you this evening requests preliminary plat and design review approval for approximately 7.95 acres already zoned R4 medium residential density, and to subdivide the site into 17 residential lots with one dwelling unit that is currently being constructed and that will be incorporated into the subdivision, and 3 common lots. The site is located at 360 South Strobel Road. Staff has reviewed the proposed pre-plat and design review for compliance with CUNA City Code, Idaho Statute 67-65, and the CUNA Comprehensive Plan, and should the commission recommend approval of the pre-plat and approve the design review application, staff recommends the applicant be subject to the proposed recommended conditions as outlined in the staff report. We have also revised comments from CUNA School District and Public Works that are available through the packet link and at the front desk. And I will be here for any questions that you have about the application.
Is there a client presentation?
Yes, the applicant is present.
Okay. And if you would state your name and address for the record, please. Aye.
Hi, I'm Charlie Tipton. I am the owner and applicant and developer. So a little bit about the project, I think Maureen went over it pretty well. It's 8 acres. We actually live on there. It's me and my fiance's personal residence is what we're currently constructing. And after talking with planning and zoning and the city of CUNA, I want to thank Troy and the city of CUNA. There's been a lot of back and forth on this. But I feel like we've designed a subdivision that hopefully gives a lot back to the community. Like Maureen said, it was zoned R4. I think our current density right now is just above 2.2. We're ideally shooting for quarter acre to third acre lots. We originally only wanted 8 lots on there that were almost a full acre, but ACHD has asked us to move the road to the very north of the property that you'll see on the preliminary plat to make it continuous with Odyssey and service other parcels for future development. So with that and that infrastructure cost, we've had to add a couple more lots, but we still tried to maintain fairly large lots that we could. We also included, for the city's request and our desire, a greenbelt walkway and a pathway that adjoins Odyssey all the way down to the greenbelt, since the parcel that was pulled off of there does not have greenbelt access from the Indian Creek subdivision over. So we'll have that for everyone, and then we also did about a half-acre little park there that will also serve as a storm drainage area and water collection site, along with the existing slope of the lot. Other than that, I don't have anything else, but if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to address the council.
Are there any questions for the applicant right now?
Not yet.
Thank you so much. That'll move us into the public hearing. So we are on Trails End Estates. So on the sign, first off, before we get started, is there anybody who wanted to testify on this application that did not previously sign up? Okay, I've got Tim Jensen.
Tim Jensen with CUNA School District, 711 East Porter Street here in CUNA. We just wanted to stand up and give our support for the project, even though there's a minimal impact. The developer has agreed to partner with the district in future partnership, and so we just want to make sure we were here and sent the updated letter for our support, and we'll stand for any questions.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
Okay, last call for signups on the public hearing on this application. If you'd like to. Please come in and sign in, if you don't mind. Thank you. And if you go ahead and state your name and address for the record, please.
Yeah, Sid Anderson, 2500 East Rock Falls Lane, CUNA. I was previously kind of involved in this property a little bit. I'm excited about the development of it. I don't oppose it. I live across the creek from this. I was hoping for a couple less lots, but I get the infrastructure costs and things that they have into it. And as a neighbor to the subdivision property, I lend my support to it. So I'll stand for any questions.
Thank you, Sid. Okay. Close the public hearing at 6:11 p.m. That kind of brings us to our, oh, sorry, 6:10 PM for this clock. That kind of brings us to our deliberation.
Well, I think it looks like a fairly good project. I mean, the lots are adequate size. As the last person that testified, I'd like to see bigger lots when I can, but I also understand the need to make it pencil out. Landscaping looks good. I really don't see any issues with it.
No, agreed. Nice wide frontages throughout, good-sized yards. I think the smallest one I'm seeing on here is a 7,800 square foot.
Yeah, I didn't see anything that stood out to me. I think it looks good on my perspective.
Okay. And just in the general question, this is for staff, by way of sewer tabling, capacity has been reserved for these lots? Or is available for these lots, I should say?
For the record, Marina Lundy, yes, Public Works has confirmed that there is capacity for these lots.
Okay.
Well, then I'll make a motion to recommend approval of case number 25-01-S and 25-01-DR with the conditions.
Sorry, Commissioner, for the record, Doug Hanson,
sorry.
CUNA Planning and Zoning. So we'll need it as two separate motions. One for the preliminary plat and one for the design.
Oh, gotcha, okay. So then I'll make a motion to recommend approval of case number 25-01-S with the conditions as outlined in the staff report.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
Then I'll also make a motion to approve case number 25-01-DR with the conditions as outlined in the staff report.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No opposition. That passes. Thank you very much. All right, and with that, we'll move on to case numbers 24-10AN and 24-07-S and 24-29DR for Paloma Ridge South.
Good evening, members of the commission. For the record, Marina Lundy, Planner, Development Services Department. The application before you this evening requests preliminary plat, design review, and annexation approval for approximately 3.31 acres as R4 zoning and to subdivide the site into 6 single-family lots and 1 common lot. The site is located at 8780 South Linder Road, Meridian, Idaho, near West Columbia Road and West Hubbard. Staff would like to note the project will be directly integrated and connected to the existing Paloma Ridge subdivision via West Velvet Leaf Court, developing an underutilized parcel. Upon annexation, the project would not require any significant extension to the city sanitary sewer or water services. Upon annexation, the project should be considered orderly development as the proposed zoning designation matches the neighboring Paloma Ridge subdivision and can connect to multiple services located within Paloma Ridge subdivision. The project will include a pathway that integrates into the walking path within Paloma Ridge and Paloma Ridge West subdivision that in total will be approximately 6,500 feet connecting West Columbia Road to South Linder Road. Staff has reviewed the proposed annexation and pre-plat for compliance with City CUNA Code, Idaho statutes 50-222 and 67-65 and the CUNA Comprehensive Plan. And should the commission approve or recommend approval of the annexation and pre-plat and approve the design review application, staff recommends the applicant be subject to the proposed recommended conditions as outlined in the staff report, and to include the following revisions to those conditions, with condition number 3 to be revised to developer owner applicant shall connect the new development to the existing substreet, and condition number 18, connection to city services, sewer, water, pressurized irrigation is required with the exception of pressurized irrigation, and the applicant shall conform to all corresponding City of CUNA master plans. and the removal of condition number 23, as this development will not flow into the Danskin lift station. We also have comment from Public Works and CUNA School District that came in after the packet was prepared, and that is available at the front desk and through the online link. I'll be here for any questions you have regarding the application, and the applicant is present tonight and has prepared a presentation.
Are there any questions for staff? If the applicant would like to present their presentation?
Good evening, Commissioners. Kyle Pruitt, 3103 West Sherrill Drive, Meridian, Idaho, 83642. I'm the Land Entitlement Manager for the Idaho Division of Toll Brothers. Before you tonight, I'm presenting Paloma Ridge South Subdivision. For preliminary plat, annexation and zoning, and design review. The future land use map designation for Paloma Ridge South Subdivision is mixed use. The site, after working with staff, the site is too small in order to allow two distinct land uses. But the project as a whole, for all intents and purposes, this will be, it will be a part of Paloma Ridge subdivision, and Paloma Ridge is approved with 8 acres of commercial in the northwest corner at the intersection of Linder and Columbia. Apologies. We are proposing an R4 zoning designation for the project, and we are not requesting any deviations or variances from the established zoning designation standards when it comes to setbacks or minimum lot sizes. As Marina said, the property size is 3.3 acres with 6 total units, bringing our density to 1.8 acres. The minimum lot size is just over 10,000 square feet with an average lot size of approximately 13,600 square feet with 1 common lot. Now, what you see in parentheses next to it is it's essentially if this it's this property within the Paloma Ridge as a whole. So with the 3 acres, that brings Paloma Ridge up to 138 acres. With the units, the 6 units, it brings it up to 350 or so. So this is just that parentheses is just seeing it next to Paloma Ridge in its entirety, which also includes Paloma Ridge West, which is directly across Linder from the rest of the subdivision. And then one quick note that I would like to, this was a discrepancy on my end as the applicant. There is no connection on the west side of the cul-de-sac from, this is Velvet Leaf, is this street here? We are not proposing a sidewalk connection to the Linder frontage sidewalk. There is a connection in the southeast corner of the project, so Velvet Leaf, as it goes east, it meets another street called Water Clover, and then there is a pathway that meets the pathway along the CUNA Canal. And so we were actually hoping to have a fence just so that it conforms to the rest of the fences that front on Linder. We would like to add a fence there. Unfortunately, that was not included within the application packet, and that's on me, but that is something we would like to propose because we are already not proposing having a sidewalk connection at the end of the cul-de-sac because it is a pretty easy pathway for them to reach the CUNA Canal pathway, which then meets up at Linder. We do have a number of remaining phases for the Paloma Ridge project as a whole. Paloma Ridge South will essentially act as phase 11. We still have to record final plats for phase 8, 9, and 10, which the phase numbering, regarding their preliminary plats, it doesn't, phase 8 is actually, Paloma Ridge West number 2. But we are still recording the remaining 3 phases of those projects, and then Paloma Ridge South will come in as phase 11, and we are currently projecting a July of 2026 plat recording at this time. We are still proposing open space with the project, even though the project is small enough to not require an exact open space requirement. We're still proposing, I believe it's 17%, approximately 17% open space, with 6.4% of that, or approximately 9,000 square feet along the collector as a buffer along Linder. And then internally, we do have the parks and pathways, which is approximately 16,000 square feet, or 11.2% of the site. The Willow Collection, which is currently being built within Paloma Ridge subdivision, is the collection that we are proposing for this site. There are 5 floor plans that we are proposing, and those start in a range of approximately 500,000 sales price, and the square footage is approximately 2,200 square feet. So they're larger homes, and these lots are larger than the average throughout the entirety of Paloma Ridge subdivision. And that's all I have for you. I'll stand for any questions.
Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you very much. We don't have any questions at this time. Any questions for staff before we open the public hearing? We good? Okay, we'll go ahead and open the public hearing for case numbers 24-07-S, 2410-AN, and 2429-DR. Is there anybody who did not get an opportunity to sign in that'd like to at this time? First up, I've got Tim Jensen.
Tim Jensen, CUNA School District, 711 East Porter Street. The district doesn't have any objection to the application due to this being kind of an extension of an already approved application and with minimal to possibly even no impact. And looking at it, it doesn't create any different hardships as far as busing goes or anything like that. So I just want to make sure we got up and make sure that let you know that we didn't have any objections to the application. So, any questions? I will stand for.
Good. Thanks, Tim. And seeing nobody else in the audience would like to testify, we'll go ahead and we'll close the public hearing at 6:23. We'll bring us to our deliberation.
6 homes out of 348 that were already approved. I mean, it just feels like finishing off the subdivision for a piece of land that not sure what else would be done with it, with where it's at.
No, agreed. I mean, it's a logical continuation. So,
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I mean, basically, it's phase 11 of an 11-phase project, so, and very little impact.
I do like the proposal to connect to the trail versus just opening up to Linder Road. So, question for staff on that one, since it wasn't part of the application, what are potential motions? Do we have to include that, or?
For the record, Doug Hanson, CUNA Planning and Zoning, Development Services. So with that, staff would be in agreement with that. All we would need is the condition that unfortunately, I don't have the lot and block right in front of me, but so that lot and block, the west boundary be fenced as a part of the overall perimeter fencing of the subdivision.
so I guess this is Lot 4C of Block 1. Okay.
Yeah, I like that it's larger area homes. The only thing that I see with the the map is that you've got the one neighbor on the south side there that's gonna have 3 backyards backing up to their side of their house, so.
Yeah, it's never my favorite thing, but
I guess just a result of adding it at the end, but.
yeah, I don't see what else you could do, unfortunately. So, just to the applicant, quick confirmation, that is Lot 4C of Block 1 that we're potentially conditioning. Okay.
That's what it looks like on our map.
Okay, very good. All right, so confirmed, Lot 4C of Block 1. All right. With that, I guess I'll stand for a motion.
I'll motion that we approve case number 24-10-AN.
Wait,
Recommend.
Sorry.
yeah, there's gonna have to
recommend-
be multiple,
Yeah,
too.
yeah. So I'll make a motion to recommend approval for case number 24-10-AN with conditions as outlined in staff report. I'm assuming that the 4C Lot 1 is going to require, or be under the design review or the preliminary plat?
Well, we can combine the annexation and the preliminary plat into one recommendation.
Okay, all right, so I'll start over. So I'll make a motion to recommend approval for case numbers 24-10-AN and 24-07-S with conditions as listed in the staff report, as well as the conditions that Lot 4C of Block 1 along Linder Road is allowed to be fenced off and not connected to walkways.
Commissioners, for the record, Doug Hanson, CUNA Planning Zoning Development Services. And if you could also just add the additional conditions as listed by staff in the staff presentation.
Okay. All right. Do you want me to start over again?
Since they were already listed as a part of the record, you could just state it exactly like that and the additional conditions as presented by staff during their presentation.
So, and requiring the additional conditions as listed by staff in the presentation. You want me to go back over and start? Okay.
I'll second that, I think.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I'll make a motion for recommending approval of case number 24-29.
This one's
Approve.
actually an approval, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Make a motion to approve case number 24-29-DR with conditions as listed in the staff report. And listed by the staff during the presentation as well.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Say aye. Aye. Any opposed? No opposition. The motion passes. All right, that closes out the public hearings. I'm not seeing any other business items listed. Any updates and reports from city staff?
For the record, Doug Hanson, CUNA Planning and Zoning. That's it for the evening.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we adjourn tonight's meeting.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And I'll close the meeting at 6:28.